Hello, true believers. I'm Charles Boda, and this is your Diz Daily Fix for November 13th, 2018. Stan Lee has passed away. If you aren't familiar with Mr. Lee's work by now, frankly, I'm unsure how you're listening to this, as you were clearly raised in an undersea bunker. Writer, editor, and publisher of Marvel Comics, Lee is in some part responsible for most of the characters you're spending money to see in theaters right now. His creations include Spider-Man, the X-Men, Thor, Iron Man, Black Panther, the Fantastic Four, the Incredible Hulk, Daredevil, and many others. Lee began working in the comic book industry in 1939, and his career since then has made him not only the most recognizable face of Marvel, but of comic books as a whole. His characters, his creations, although fantastic, were relatable. Rather than write heroes who were perfect and impervious inside and out, Lee wrote heroes who had real-world problems. Externally and internally, his champions had to face defeat and setbacks. Despite his powers, Spider-Man still suffered the awkwardness, self-esteem issues, and dating difficulties of being a teenager. Later on in life, he had to deal with an overbearing boss so he could pay his rent, on top of his responsibilities to his loved ones and community. The X-Men have served as a metaphor for many groups of people who have been demonized and mistreated for their differences, yet still strive to live in peace with those who hate and fear them. Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk, Daredevil, they all have flaws and struggles that we can relate to, that we can learn from. Stan Lee put the human in superhuman, and for that I thank him. I learned a lot from those fictional people, and Lee's enthusiasm and charisma in print, during interviews, on voiceovers or film cameos put a face and a voice to those ideas. Now, for some of you, the death of an old Marvel guy who pops up in movies might not seem like a huge deal. For those of us who read comics when we were younger, before our heroes became famous and profitable, Stan Lee was like a member of our family. Sharing adventures and telling us tales, he was the face of a different world, that separate one we shared while flipping through our pages in bedrooms, basements, and comic book stores. I'm grateful to know that he lived long enough to see his creations embraced on a worldwide scale. I'm also grateful to live in a world where folks see the value of those stories. Thank you, Stan. Your legacy is cemented. You were and always will be the face of comic books. Now, the word legend gets thrown around loosely, and it doesn't always apply. Walt Disney was a true legend. He was creative, driven, and tied himself so thoroughly to his product that when people think of theme parks, they think of him. That's what Stan Lee did for comics. And in today's featured article, I'm going to do my best to explain the impact and legacy Stan the Man had. Check out why Stan Lee deserves to be called a legend today. Trending on the boards today is a thread that was started by poster DisNerd6838, who wonders why the line for Peter Pan's flight is always so long. Now, some posters think it's because the attraction is so nostalgic, while others feel that it's due to it being slow-moving. Well, what are your thoughts on it? Stop by the Theme Parks Attractions and Strategies forums at disboards.com and look for the thread titled, I Never Understood, to weigh in with your thoughts. At 1 o'clock today, make sure to check out the Diz Unplugged Walt Disney World edition, where the team will keep you up to date on all of this week's news and engage in some lively Disney discussion. You can check that out on disunplugged.com at 1 p.m. today. For your weather today, Orlando will have a cloudy day with maybe a little sunshine later, a 20% chance of rain, a high of 86, and a low of 70. Tomorrow will be around the same temperature, but we'll add an 80% chance of rain into the mix. Now, those in Anaheim will enjoy a partly cloudy and windy day with a high of 79 and a low of 52. Now, for information on anything I've mentioned, go to wdwinfo.com/dailyfix, and that will be it for me today. But join us again tomorrow for another installment of your Diz Daily Fix. Excelsior!